Israel has once again continued to ratchet up its attacks on Gaza, this time levying a barrage against the southern city of Rafah. That's a city on the border with Egypt. This is also the city where millions of Palestinians were told to flee. This began yesterday and continued into today, and these airstrikes so far have already killed over 22 people. A woman carrying a small girl in her arms shouted as she arrived at the local Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital, "What can we do?" This is the work of the coward Zionist enemy that chooses innocent civilians. This girl is firing rockets at the Jews. May God help us. Now, this is catastrophic for all of the Palestinians who have been forced to shelter in that city. And some more details on that front. Rafah had a pre-war population of roughly 280,000, and according to the United Nations, is now home to some 1.4 million additional people living with relatives in shelters or in sprawling tent camps after fleeing fighting elsewhere in Gaza. But now, in advance of a looming ground invasion, Netanyahu is calling for the evacuation of Rafah. His office stated, "It is impossible to achieve the war goal of eliminating Hamas and leaving 4 Hamas battalions in Rafah. On the other hand, it is clear that a massive operation in Rafah requires the evacuation of the civilian population from the combat zones. That is why the Prime Minister directed the IDF and the security establishment to bring the cabinet a dual plan for both the evacuation of the population and the dismantling of the battalions. It is unclear where they are supposed to go. They were told to go south. Here they are. They risked, as others have put it, life and limb to get down there. But this also risks increasing tensions with Egypt. Now, Egypt has said that an Israeli deployment along the border would threaten the peace treaty the two countries signed over 4 decades ago. The Biden administration has expressed dismay with the Israeli government this week, but even at their most forceful, they're still pathetically weak. On Thursday, President Biden gave, according to the media, some of his most forceful criticisms of Israel's actions in Gaza in remarks from the White House. "I'm of the view, as you know, that the conduct and the response in Gaza Strip has been over the top," the president said. "I'm pushing very hard now to deal with this hostage ceasefire. I've been working tirelessly on this deal. I've been pushing really hard to get humanitarian assistance into Gaza. A lot of innocent people are starving, a lot of innocent people are in trouble, and they're dying, and it's got to stop." Now, this isn't the only person in the Biden administration that has been criticizing some of these moves. This from Vedant Patel, a State Department spokesperson. They said Thursday that going ahead with such an offensive with no planning and little thought in an area where there is sheltering of 1 million people would be a disaster. And John Kirby, the White House's national security spokesman, said, "An Israeli ground offensive in Rafah is not something we would support." Now, according to the New York Times, American officials told members of Congress this week that Israel is not even close to achieving its stated goal of eliminating Hamas. American officials emphasize that the United States has learned in war after war that counting the number of enemies killed in an insurgency or counterterrorism operation is a fool's game. Operations that kill militants often radicalize others, swelling the ranks of enemy organizations. And US officials say death counts of fighters do not give an indication of whether a government has addressed the core issues driving the war. I mean, Cenk, do you think this is a forceful enough condemnation from the Biden administration?
Yeah. It's a joke, a total joke. They have expressed dismay. Oh, have they? Okay, well, we are quite dismayed. So they're going to evacuate over 1 million people and kill thousands of more innocent civilians. But we are dismayed. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you, my thoughts on the whole thing. But I actually want to start with 2 members that I think nailed it, and I'll build off of what their comments were. These are YouTube members. Bruce City Mike said, "So now where the F are they supposed to go?" That is actually the central question. And Miss Anonymous 617 said you can't evacuate 1 million people. That is also correct, and that is also a central problem here. So first of all, on where do they go? Well, in the beginning, the Israeli government said, "Oh no, we're just bombing the north. Don't worry, move to the south, we won't bomb the south." And a lot of suckers believe that. And I said at the time, there's no chance that they're not going to bomb the South. They're going to stuff everyone into the South and then bomb the South. Who was right and who was wrong? Have the people who came out and said, oh no, don't worry, they're trying so hard not to hurt civilians, they won't bomb the South, that's why they moved them there. Have they all come out and apologized? Because that was pretty much everyone in the establishment in Washington, every politician, almost every media figure. Oh no, don't worry, don't worry. Well, then they bombed the South. Now they stuffed everyone into Rafah, which is right near the Egyptian border. And now they're going to evacuate and bomb Rafah. Well, where the hell are they going to evacuate them? There is no, you can't go further south. And how are you going to move 1 million people? That is exactly the right question. Here's how you move them: with great suffering and casualties and starvation, which is, by the way, ethnic cleansing 101. When you move people, as America did with the Native Americans, as the Turks did with the Armenians, there is mass casualties, mass starvation, and disease begins to set in because there's no sanitation. And so that's already what's happening in southern Gaza. They're about to make it 10 times worse. So our politicians here in America, let me be perfectly clear about it, are monsters. They're terrible human beings. So I'm done with mainstream media and their constant kissing up to the politicians as if they're wonderful, credible people. And we're all supposed to say, but Joe Biden is a sweet guy. What kind of a sweet guy greenlights the massacre of 27,000 people? I mean, imagine that. That's like people killed already, let alone what Netanyahu just announced in terms of the massacres to come. That's a basketball arena full of people. I want you to visualize whichever basketball arena you've ever been in and imagine everyone dead in their seats. Now imagine that 11,500 of them are children, and wherever you look is children, and they're all dead. And our government greenlit that and now is funding it and is saying, other than nonsense words, light words like, oh, it's over the top, we're not going to do anything to help the Palestinians. In fact, we're going to send either 14 or 17 billion dollars to murder more innocent civilians and to do more ethnic cleansing. You know who does that for their own political career? Monsters. Really, really terrible people. So that is who Joe Biden is. That is who all of the Democrats and Republicans who support this are. If you're not fighting with every fiber of your being to save those lives, there's something wrong with you. You're missing a moral core.
The verbiage is key here because the words that have been chosen, dismay, over the top, these are phrases that I would use to describe a bad outfit. Like, Cenk, if you walked in here wearing a denim shirt with matching denim pants, I would be dismayed. I'd be like, Cenk, the cowboy suit, the denim top, and I'm a little dismayed. And then if you came in here wearing a sequin hat with a sequin shirt, I'd be like, it's a little over the top. You know what I mean? It's a little over. You do you, but it's a little over the top. These are not the words that you use to describe mass murder of children, bombings, dismemberment, slaughter, dying of dysentery now because of the diseases that are gonna come in because you can't move, like you said, you can't move 1 million people and not, first of all, where are they going? Because they're not allowed to go into Egypt and anywhere you put them, because the bombings have already started. It's not like they're being like, all right, you've got 7 months now to move 1 million people. They've already started bombing Rafah. So it's like TikTok, move 1 million people now ASAP. That's not, you don't react to that with dismay or it's a little over the top. That's mass murder. Like, what are we doing here? It's so insane. And I was thinking about this whole situation because I've been posting I've been very careful about what I post on my social media because I've already lost, by the way, 7,000 followers because I've been reposting posts from UNICEF, Doctors Without Borders, and Amnesty International, apparently all organizations who are anti-Semitic at this point. Who knew? But I've been very careful about posting what I repost. And I will get comments back in my DMs like, no, Helen, you're wrong. This is Israel defending itself. Israel is defending itself. Okay, here's the deal. If you come up to me and punch me in the back of the head, I have every right to turn around and punch you back until you stop punching me in the head. But when now you're on the ground with your head cracked open, bleeding, and you have stopped punching me in the head, if I then pick up a tire iron and beat you to death, I'm a murderer. I am no longer defending myself. I am now a murderer. And that's what this situation has become. Israel is not defending itself. They are committing mass murder, period.
Yeah, I will build off of that. I use the analogy of a smaller kid that punches a bigger kid and then 200-pounder sits on him and just starts wailing away. The first punch, we get it. On the 20th punch, the 200th punch, the whole school's going, please stop punching him. It doesn't matter who started it, you're gonna kill him. And by the way, this is what every empire has said throughout the history of time. We're just defending ourselves. So that's exactly what the Turks said. And by the way, even aggressors like the Germans said, we're just defending the native Germans in Vienna, etc. Okay, so I know you're not supposed to use historical examples, but the reality is, just so you know, for the people that are making that absurd argument, it is literally the argument every monster has made before they went and killed innocent human beings. I was just defending myself. Okay, and so you can get a sense of a different analogy that might affect your life. So let's say that somebody attacked your family and killed some of them and hurt others, and you're ripped up inside. I understand your pain, right? And I'm 100% with you in going and apprehending that person. But let's say that person ran away to Cleveland and he's from Cleveland. Oh, okay. Should we go murder 27,000 people in Cleveland?
Who had nothing to do with it.
So like if you
say- Who didn't even know the guy.
If you say, hey, that guy is part of a gang, so let's go get him and let's go get his gang. Great, let's go get his gang. So let's start, and then the next thing that they propose is let's start dropping bombs in the middle of Cleveland. No, why? Why would we do that? It is very unlikely to hit, especially if that gang is underground in a tunnel that's totally unaffected by the bombs. Why are we killing random people in Cleveland? That is if you went to go kill 27 innocent people in Cleveland because of the terrible thing that happened to you, I would tackle you. I would say, why are you killing 27 random people? Are you insane, right? Oh, but don't worry, I got the bad guy. So since I got the bad guy, it was okay to kill the 27 other people. No, it wasn't. It wasn't okay to kill the 27 other people. That makes you the bad guy. That makes you 27 times the bad guy. But it isn't 27 people, it's 27,000 people. Picture it, 150 people die almost every day on average now, and it's now reduced number. Imagine you went to the grocery store and you saw 150 dead people. It would be the most traumatic thing that's ever happened. Hey, good news for you, you live in America, so they don't let you see it, but it still happens. It's happening right now, and then there are monsters who are defending it. And that, by the way, and they go by the name of senators and representatives and presidents and secretaries. Those are the monsters that are going, oh, you're murdering all those people. Here's more money. Here's more money. Go kill more of them. And then I'll pretend that I am dismayed by you. But here's an open check to murder as many innocent Palestinians as you like. And if you still think that Israel is trying to really hard to not hurt civilians, you live on a different planet. You're so blinded by your bias, you can't see straight. No one else on planet Earth thinks that.
I think that's an important point. It's the leverage that the Biden administration has and they've refused to use. continuing to give them weapons, continuing to provide aid to Israel, and potentially to billions of dollars in exchange for an awful deal at the border. This is what Democrats want right now. They have the opportunity to actually materially change this conflict, and instead, they're rolling out, oh, well, we're concerned about this. Well, Adam Johnson, who hosts the podcast Citations Needed, pointed out that the White House has expressed concerns over Gaza and the civilian death toll being too high on October 11th, 15th, 29th, 31st, November 3rd. I can go on, but it's up until a couple days ago. They're still doing it, and they're changing nothing materially about their policy. So you could tell the media you're concerned, you're dismayed, you're upset, all you want. Until they change their actions, we can't believe them. This is all a facade.
Yeah, the Democrats said, let's give them $14 billion to kill more innocent civilians. The Republicans said, no, let's give them $17 billion. So those are the people that are in Washington. By the way, 70% of the country wants the bombing to stop. But you think our legislators are gonna listen to us? They don't listen to us. Can we be honest for a second? Can I just tell you what mainstream media never ever tells you? You know who they listen to? 100% of the time, and it is the only factor. Donors, period. If Raytheon wants them to buy more bombs to kill more Palestinians, that is exactly what they will do. So if you see anybody on TV telling you about, oh, they're having a debate about ideology, and what does Ron Johnson think? What does Mitch McConnell think or Nancy Pelosi think? They don't think a thing. They think, where's my check and who do you want me to kill? That's the sick, sick people that run our government. Last thing, 36 kids died in Israel. That broke our hearts. And we all talked about it. We all said it was monstrous. 36 poor innocent Israeli kids. 11,500 Palestinian kids have been killed. Does it look like this country's as brokenhearted about the 11,500 innocent kids that are dead as they were about the 36? Now, by the way, the correct answer is yes, the country is. That's why 70% of us are saying, stop the bombing. Are you insane? Stop killing them. We all have eyes and ears. We can see you picking out body parts of children from the rubble. We have eyes and ears. Please stop killing them. But our monsters that are politicians in DC and most of mainstream media go, nope, keep killing, keep killing, keep killing. That's the reality of the sick, sick people in charge in America. I'm sorry if I broke your heart. And when you were used to fairy tales about how they're such sweet, nice people, and but if you just vote for the right side, then they'll actually do things for you that you believe in. There's no chance of that. They're all corrupt. They're only ever going to do what the donors told them to do, no matter how monstrous. Those are the pathetic, weak, spineless, craven, immoral people that are politicians. You see a national politician, you should yell in their face, shame, shame for what you have done in the name of America. You embarrassed us all. You've made us immoral actors in the world, and we despise you for it. You should have no respect for those politicians, none. And if anybody in media tells you that you have to respect them, you should laugh in their face. I have no respect for any of those deeply immoral people.
If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.